What up, what up, what up? Okay, so some of you guys have actually been requesting for me to show you exactly how I've been catching crazy amount of pips with minimal effort from simply setting a sell limit and a buy limit. Okay, so as you can see here, we've caught so far today, I believe it's been about, well, you can see here, so nearly 300 pips, okay, and counting. And when I say and counting, this is exactly what I mean because we're about halfway to what I'm actually looking for. So you can see here, TP1, TP2. I'm looking for this whole move to be about 700 pips. Okay, so TP1, TP2. So you're probably thinking, okay, how do you catch that so clean? Okay, and I'll show you. This is what we're going to go through today. Okay, so where did it all start from? Okay, it all started from a line chart. Okay, so as you can see here, I've marked out the zone. And I believe on this trade, I believe we had like, let me see how many pips drawdown we actually had. I believe it was about 2 pip drawdown. Okay, so you can imagine, you set your sell limit and, okay, just to be precise, it's about 6 pips. Okay, 6 pips drawdown, but as you can see, my risk to reward ratio, I had 148 here, but I knew I was going to be coming nowhere close to that. Okay, so how did I catch this trade? Okay, so simply, I always trade on a 4 hour or the daily, and I'm more of a swing trader. Okay. So if you don't know what a swing trader is, a swing trader simply is you want to catch longer term trades and catch the maximum amount of pips from each trade. Okay. So how did I catch this? As you can probably see already, simple support, break, acts as resistance, and heads down. Okay. So you're probably thinking, oh, that looks easy enough, but how do you catch it so clean? Okay. Again, I go to the line chart. As you can see this area here. So let me just delete this as in believe it never happened. Okay, so I'm going to start again, show you exactly how I caught this. Okay, so you can see it's broken past this area here. It's broken past the area there. Simple basics of support and resistance. As you can tell, it's going to come back, retest. So all I simply do, go on a line chart to clear up all the noise because I don't have no candles here now or wicks. I could just simply put a green line here. And also you can see there's an area of support over there. So simply just to capture these areas now, because you can see here that we had some support, it went up, some support here, it went up, some support here, it went up, support here, it went up, here it had support again, went up, finally broke through. So what do you expect is going to happen next? Okay, you can even keep looking back at this. You can keep looking back at this green line, but I'm not going to do that for the purposes of this video. Simply, I just grab a shaded box area, and I'm going to go between all of these areas now. Okay, so let me just maneuver this over. Okay, so now in between my green line where I want to enter and this purple line, if I go back to the bar chart, or should I say candles, you can see now how this covers all of this cleanly. So you can see it came just to this purple box, bounced up, broke slightly past, but the green line was respected. It bounced up again. Here, perfectly to the green line, it bounced up. So guess what I'm looking for on the flip side? It's finally broke past. We expect a resistance, right? So you can see how clean this was, okay? Simply, if I literally draw this up, okay, if you entered off this sell limit, okay, and you put your stop loss, I'll show you exactly how I do my stop losses as well. Okay, so usually I look at this on a daily. Okay, so I'm on a daily chart, and if you know the way I like to trade, Fibonacci is my best friend. Okay, so grab the fib from the top, right to the bottom. Okay, and then at some point you're waiting for a pullback, right? And you know, if you trade 61.8 and these levels here are the optimal levels to actually catch a trade. So you can see why I now move my green line to the 61.8. Okay, so now move my green line to the 61.8. I know this is the optimal zone to actually sell this. So once moving my green line to the 61.8, as you can see, it is in line now with my risk to reward ratio here. Okay, so 61.8 would now be my sell limit. Okay, so going from that point on now, I'm looking at this. Wait, let me put that Fibonacci back because I'll show you exactly how I find my take profits. Okay, so you can see I've got -2.7 and a -61.8. So now I use those as my take profits. Okay, so I just simply grab a line, okay, from here, horizontal ray, and I literally place that, okay, and then I just simply label it TP1, TP2, you get the point. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that. Okay, so now I can delete my Fibonacci, just knowing this is my sell limit and this is the 2 TPs I want to actually trade. Okay, so now you can see this trade has now gone up, activated the sell limit with minimal drawdown. There's literally like, you're risking literally what, not even 2 pips, 6 pips maximum. And now you're looking for a potential gain of TP1, 500 pips, TP2, 726. So you can see now we're kind of halfway there. Okay, that's GBP NZD. That's how we actually managed to catch that trade. Okay, similar one. Again, GBP AUD, literally exactly the same. This one is a little bit more complicated to actually find, actually, and I'll show you why. Okay, so again, I start on a daily. You can see I've got my trend line there. Wanted it to come all the way to this trend line to kind of respect this zone here, but as you can see, that's not what I was looking at. Okay, so how did I find this one? Okay, so we're looking at this area over here. So again, what I do, I'll go to my line chart. Line chart just literally clears up all the noise. Okay, so this one is quite difficult to find. Okay, but just looking across, I just kept on looking back and I was like, you know what? This looked very interesting. So I just saw this straight away. So I just extended that. So you can see now my purple box is now in line with this because resistance, it dropped, it broke, acted as a support in here. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this green line for now. Okay, so let's delete that green. But you can see here, it acted resistance, dropped, broke past support, went up, broke past again, resistance, dropped, broke past again, support, went up, done a bit of a crazy movement here, didn't quite find support or resistance. And then here, it finally broke through again. So guess what I'm looking for? I said, if it's going to act as a resistance now, then it looks like I'm in for a chance of selling. Okay, so now I found that clean area on a line chart. And then where does my green line actually come in? Okay, so go back to the candles. Okay, so let me just make this bigger so you guys can see this clearly. Okay, again, grab the Fibonacci tool from the top to the bottom. And now I'm looking at this purple zone. Okay, so if I want to catch optimal entries, I know the 70.5 or the 78.6 would be my optimal zones to actually sell this. So obviously you want to catch it at its highest or lowest point when you're actually making a trade. So guess what I do? I put my green line, the 78.6, which is in line with now my stop loss. Okay, so my stop loss, I usually put it 3 levels above the Fibonacci's, but also just above structure. So if I delete this fib now, actually before I do that again, TP1, TP2, as you can see here, simply grab a horizontal rate. I'm just looking at negative 27 and 61.8. Okay, so now I could delete my fib knowing exactly what I'm looking for again. Okay, so you can see now my entry point or sell limit is now set at 79,535. Okay, and then the stop loss is just above the previous structure. So when I grab that Fibonacci from just above that zone, as you can see, the stop loss is 114 pips. But what was the actual risk that we actually had on this trade? Okay, so if you put your sell limit at this level, you're risking 38 pips, and now you've managed to catch 263 pips, and this is all today. Okay, so you can see this big movement all today. Okay, so 200 and what was it? 200 and let's say 270 pips or 260 pips. Okay, so you risked 38 pips to make 260 pips, and we're only halfway there because don't forget TP1 is here, which would be 440 pips, and TP2 nearly 600 pips. Okay, so you're seeing these other green lines that I've got here, and you're probably thinking, why is that? Okay, so simple. Again, line chart is my best friend. Okay, so literally I just come across here, I'm thinking, okay, where am I seeing some support and resistance? Okay, so I could see there's a resistance there, there's kind of support there. Okay, so I'm just looking across these levels. Okay, and this big one, you can see there's support here, went up, kind of support there. Okay, you could keep going, you could keep going. You can see there's support here, there's resistance there. You could keep going. If I literally drew this all the way out, you can see that matches up with that resistance and dropped. So I know that's a key level. If you keep looking straight away, you can notice there's resistance here, there's support over there, there's resistance here. Okay, so now I know these are key levels for me to be trading off. Okay, so this is why I use the line chart, because it clears up all the noise. Okay, and you can see this support level here, or this purple box after you drew, is in line with TP2. So now I'm confident that if the trade is heading down, it should be heading down towards these levels. So total, we're looking for 579 pips. Okay, simple as that. That's literally how you catch it. Okay, so another example. Let's just go through this. So this one was very, very, very sly. Okay, GBP CAD, and I had to find this one on a 4-hour chart. Okay, so very, very sly. Okay, so you can see there's a break of trend, and every time a trend is broken, we expect it to retest off the trend or the nearest support or resistance level. As you can see, this broke past this level here. Okay, so why did I find that level and how did I find it? Line chart. Okay, so it's broken past very subtly. Okay, so it's broken past here. So all I simply look for is the previous area of support or resistance, in this case, support. So let's just delete this and pretend it was never there in the first place. Okay, so it's broken past this area. Okay, so what am I looking for now? I'm looking for areas of support or resistance that's previously been broken. So it broke past this area here. So I'm like, cool. I'm looking at here, and I can see this bit is slightly higher than here. So all I simply do is just draw the box in line with that. So it's touching it. And now just draw this out. Okay, so I do that. The nearest area of support that I could find was this one. Okay, so I put the green line right there. If I'm looking across this green line now, okay, if I'm just looking across this green line, okay, I've done this on the daily, so you can find it better on the daily. But for the time purposes of this video, I'm just going to keep it short. Okay, so now I'll go back to candles, and I'm just looking at this area here. So you can see how sly this was, and you're probably not even seeing it right now. But look how sly this entry was. Okay, so here, it came to this area. Okay, it came to this area as a retest and just went down. It's like, it was so sly, it was unbelievable. But to find this better, I had to go on the 1 hour chart. Okay, so I went on the 1 hour chart, I was looking across this level, and I was thinking, you know what? This green line could be here, which I put it there. And then I was like, looking across this, I could kind of just put this purple box around here. Okay, so now when I've done that, and imagine this is on a 1 hour chart, so I only had this green candle, this one didn't happen yet. I said, that'll be perfect if I could literally put a sell limit right there and then get into this trade, because as you can see, it happened and literally just touched it. Again, how many pip drawdown do we have? Like, I don't know, not even one, like 0.9. So let's just say 1 pip drawdown. Okay, so again, I'll be looking to put my stop loss just above the previous structure. So sell limit right there above the previous structure, we're risking 30 pips. Okay, so 30 pips we're risking, and guess how much gain we've currently got? Okay, so far we've currently got 239 pips, and this is all on a Monday, guys. Okay, all on Monday. Okay, so that's simply how I actually find these trades. Very simple: support and resistance, trend line, and I find them. Set a sell limit, set a buy limit, so you can carry on with your day. You can do exactly what you want to do for the rest of your day, and just literally be catching pips. Okay, so another one. Okay, I'll show you a future trade I'm looking into right now. Okay, so like I said, I only trade on a 4 hour or daily. So I found this one on a daily. Okay, so it might look quite messy to you right now, but simply, I'm working off this trend line. It's broke this trend line, so I know at some point it has to retest it. But during a counter trend line from here, you can see, actually, no, this one is more on a 4 hour. You see this better on a 4 hour. I'm thinking of Euro NZD. Okay, so on a 4 hour now, you can see how clean this is. So broke that trend, now found a new trend, and now it's broke past that trend again. So what do I expect? At some point, a retest of this trend line or a support level. Okay, so again, go on a line chart. And what do you think I'm looking for? Okay, so what do you think I'm looking for? The most previous area of support or resistance that is broke. And if you're looking at this area right here, you can see we had support over here and we had resistance over here. So for me, I want this to break past this level and come here, because we had support over there, resistance over here. Also, another area of interest would be the one just slightly below, because we had resistance over here and then we had support over here very vaguely. If I go to candles, you see it. Okay, but just looking across that line, okay, so just looking across that line, you can see there's various areas that's of interest within that zone. But for me, the strongest level here would be this purple zone, because look, we had resistance, we had support, we had support, we had resistance. Guess what I'm looking for now? Hit that support and then head up to this target area right here. Okay, so when we're looking at the candles, okay, so again, this is in line with Fibonacci. So from the most previous impulse up, okay, so this hasn't quite settled down yet, but I'm looking at this area thinking it's going to drop to this area. So what level Fibonacci would it be once it finally relaxes and actually drops? So we could keep on just following this with the Fibonacci for now. But for now, where it's currently at, it looks like the 50% Fibonacci will be hit. But if this keeps on going up, then we might have the 61.8. If it keeps on going up to this level, we might have the 70%. But I'm just keeping track of that. But at some point, I know this needs to come down to either one of these two levels for it to keep going up. So you can see why I've drawn big impulse, retracement, and then this is the whole move I'm looking for. So right now, to be safe, I've put my sell limit right here at this green level, and the stop loss is currently 47 pips, and we're looking for 456 pips going upwards. Okay, so I'm just waiting for this to settle down and pull back, and then once I see how it reacts around this area, then I'm either going to enter by execution, or I'm just going to keep my buy limit right here for me to enter. Okay, so you can see how I'm finding these trades simply using a trend lines, support and resistance, and using a line chart. Okay, so that's all I'm going to cover for today. There's obviously more, but I just want to keep this video short to show you guys exactly what I'm looking for, how I'm actually getting these trades through sell limits, buy limits, and actually just catching these big moves. Okay, so that's it from me, guys. Take care. Feel free to follow me. Actually, wait, before I stop that, let me just put this. Just feel free to follow me on TradingView. Okay, so if you want to find my profile, simply you go to TradingView. Okay, you go to TradingView. If you want to find anyone, okay, so my name on TradingView is obviously Jedders, as you can see there. Simply, you just go to people, click that, and then you could simply search Jedders, and you should be able to find me in there. Okay, so that's it from me, guys. Until next time, take care.